that we work really closely with the actors so that they feel safe in the knowledge and in their work that what they are asked to do is integral to the character journey that they want to build.
Any more questions? Yes.
Right
Over
here,
here.
yes.
Can you tell us, over here, can you tell us at what stage the lead actors, who are obviously integral to the way the film is, when they came on board, and did you write with those two in mind?
No, the script was already completed before we went to the casting process, but we definitely engaged them really closely in the pre-production. In fact, George came in quite early before he was even required and requested an office for himself in the production office, so he could just sit and just absorb the world of the film as we were building it, you know, with costume and set and scheduling. Nathan was filming up to the very last minute before he flew over from New York, was it? He lives in Europe. Yeah, he was filming all over Europe, and he managed to squeeze in like a 5-day holiday before coming to us. But before that, we were, you know, on Zooms, and we talked about how they wanted to create the character really rigorously.
I think we tried to make space for them. So the script, yes, was written before they were on board, but I think once they were on board and we were working on it, both in prep and on set, we tried to make sure that we left room for them in the characters, and that if they had ideas or that things weren't quite working for them, that we would work around that and find, because once the actors are on board, they are the characters and they are the film, and so actually sometimes when you try to stick too rigorously to the exact thing that you imagined in your head, you're kind of hampering the film, because ultimately it's them and they are the characters.
In fact, one of our favorite scenes in the film was something that was not in the script, and it was suggested by Nathan, you know, when he started ripping the bed sheets off, and he was just saying that this is what my character would do, you know, in response to that dilemma whether he should upload the video that we made together. And when he suggested it, we were like, of course, that's brilliant. And it was good for us, and I think it was good for him as well, because, you know, everyone could feel like, hopefully, we ran an empowering set.
How long did you actually have time to shoot the film?
27 days? 27 days.
And how long did you work with the actors beforehand?
Pre-production was 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah, they were sort of around a lot in pre-production for the last, we had this grand idea that we had like 2 weeks for rehearsal, which obviously was ridiculous. I've obviously never made a film before. It's actually every day we're like, let's work with Nathan and George today, and then, you know, you're like doing a million things. So I think we actually ended up with like a weekend to properly work with them, and we were like sat in a room and went through the script, but they were in and out. Like we were kind of finding moments with them while we were also trying to like find locations and like work out what all the costumes and the sets and where things were being built and all of that kind of like the stuff was happening. But they really threw themselves at it with a passion.
I can imagine, because of course, I mean, I don't know if George, for instance, like, you know, did he sort of build up his body before that to where?
Oh yeah, so when we first met them, so Nathan
Nathan
was doing a show called Culprits, which is coming out soon, and in that he is huge. Like, so he'd really buffed up, and George just had a baby, and was like, I think kind of really new dad slim. So they were the kind of the opposite of what they are. So even their chemistry was so good in the read, but we were like, this kind of wrong. Because you don't feel like you're going to intimidate this guy. And then 3 weeks later, they came back into the room, and George was, I I don't quite know how you do it so quickly, but
during the chemistry read, where we said that the bodies were actually different, Nathan wore a baggy sweater to kind of hide that he was hinged, and George was just slim and lacking sleep because he had a new baby. But then, as Sam said, when they arrived, on set, we're like, oh my God, what have you been eating? Or in the case of Nathan, what have you not been eating?
Are there any more questions? Yes.
Yes, I think I want to ask the obvious questions. What are you up next to? You want to delve more into genre or do something completely else?
Yeah. Genre is something that we love a lot. We're just trying to go from press thing to press thing, and
we finished the film a week ago. So, and keep on. We found out we were coming to Berlin, and we were like, right, okay, it's now really crunch time. So it's I don't really know what day of the week it is, to be honest, but I think there's, it's exciting to now go back to that place of like coming up with new ideas, and that's really like something that I'm looking forward to.
But I suppose, talking about genre, this is something that we have spoken quite a bit about, our politics, because genre is so mainstream, and what we want to do is to push these stories into the mainstream, and, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, in queer cinema, in drama, and indie films, and now we just want to, on those shoulders, take the next step and make them mainstream, universal, not niche audiences, but for everybody.
Any more questions? Yes. How are you planning to make it more mainstream? Was the question.
Well, I mean, I think our philosophy on it, I suppose, is that actually we wanted to make a film. We hope that the film has there is a lot of violence in it. It's a thriller. Hopefully, it gets your pulse racing, but it's also at its core a really kind of human, empathetic film. And I suppose the hope is in making something. Someone said it's like putting the pill in the food, right? Like it's about making something that you can watch the trailer and anyone can watch this trailer and go, this is exciting. This is gonna thrill me. I'd want to put this on a Friday night and order a takeaway and like have a good time. But that actually there is something to think about in it that then surprises you, and that we're not pushing that message as being like, we want to sit you down and make you think about serious things, because often people don't want to choose to go there, and actually I think there's a way that you can entertain and also say something, and I think that's what we mean when we talk about kind of bringing these things into the mainstream. I think quite often queer cinema, even in the marketing, is pushed into a kind of niche that is only for if you are specifically interested in talking about these things, and actually it should be something that we're all thinking about, hopefully, because I don't know, I think the stuff that film is tackling is important.
Absolutely. Just one thing maybe to add to that, because the deconstruction of identity, of course, that the film is about, is not just the violence on the surface, which is horrible enough, and the trauma that follows, of course, the journey. Both the characters, of course, there's the psychological scars that Jules' character is carrying with him throughout the film. And I found it just really, really impressive how ambiguous you kept the whole storytelling, also how the characters interact back and forth, also the king that comes in. There's so many layers in it. I mean, yes, it has to be acknowledged, which I find just fantastic, and I haven't seen that